Sometimes life breaks you down, not because you're weak, but because it's testing if you're ready for the next level. You feel lost, you feel drained, and no matter how hard you push, nothing seems to work. That's when you need to understand it's not the end, it's the signal. You need to reset, restart, and refocus. Stop carrying the weight of yesterday into today. Stop drowning in mistakes that already happened. You can't change the past, but you can flip the switch right now. The only reason you're still stuck is because you haven't given yourself permission to start fresh. Reset your mind, clear out the negativity, the toxic people, the doubts, restart your drive. Remember why you started. Reignite the fire that once burned inside you. Refocus your vision, cut out the distractions, lock in on the target, and move with purpose. Life doesn't wait for you to feel ready. You either rise or you get left behind. So don't complain. Don't look for sympathy. Don't sit around wishing. Take control, hit reset, and come back harder, sharper, stronger, because your breakthrough is waiting the moment you decide to refocus and fight again. Reset your mindset. Remove negativity and excuses. That's not just a nice phrase. It's the foundation of every comeback you've ever dreamed of. Your mindset is the engine that drives every single result in your life. If that engine is clogged with doubt, fear, and excuses, it doesn't matter how much potential you have, you'll never get moving. That's the brutal truth. People fail not because they lack ability, but because their minds are polluted with weakness. And weakness feeds on negativity. It feeds on the lies you keep telling yourself, the excuses you keep building, the comfort zones you refuse to break out of. Resetting your mindset means taking a hard look in the mirror and admitting that the old way of thinking has failed you. It's about recognizing that your current mental state isn't serving your goals. And if you keep carrying it, you're choosing failure over transformation. Think about how much energy you waste every day feeding negativity. You scroll endlessly, comparing yourself to people you've never met. You repeat stories in your head about why you can't win, why you can't start, why you can't become more. Every excuse is a chain around your neck, pulling you down, suffocating your ambition. And here's the raw truth. Nobody cares about your excuses. Nobody's coming to save you because you had it rough, because you're tired, or because life was unfair. Everyone is fighting their own battles, and the world only rewards results. That's why excuses are poison. They feel comforting in the moment, they give you a reason to stop trying, but they steal your future. When you reset your mindset, you are stripping yourself of that poison. You start telling yourself the truth. I am in control. I am responsible. I either win or I don't, but it's all on me. That level of accountability is scary, but it's also liberating. Because the moment you stop blaming the world, the government, your parents, your boss, your bad luck, you suddenly hold the power in your own hand. That's where change begins, when you admit the problem has always been you and the solution has always been you. Removing negativity doesn't mean pretending life is all sunshine. It means training your mind to reject the useless energy that drains you and replacing it with fuel. Negativity will always surround you. Friends who doubt you, families who discourage you, society that laughs at you. Resetting your mindset means using that as fire instead of letting it burn you down. You don't need people to believe in you. You don't need everyone's approval. You need discipline, you need clarity, and you need relentless focus on what you want. That's the difference between people who succeed and people who stay stuck. They filter their thoughts. They refuse to let excuses take root. Ask yourself, what excuse has been ruling your life? I don't have enough time. That's a lie. You waste hours on distractions. I don't have money. That's a lie. There are countless ways to start small. I'm not ready. That's a lie. You'll never feel fully ready. The excuses you cling to are the same walls holding you prisoner. Resetting your mindset means tearing those walls down, even when it hurts, even when you're afraid. Because growth is supposed to hurt. That's the price of becoming more. You must learn to be ruthless with your own mind. Every negative thought, every excuse, every whisper of doubt, you cut it off before it takes root. You replace it with action. You remind yourself, I am capable. I am in charge. I am not stopping. That repetition, that discipline rewires your brain. And when your brain changes, your life changes. Nothing external shifts until the internal does first. That's why people who win often seem unstoppable, because their mindset is unshakable. They've reset their thinking so deeply that failure is never final. It's only feedback. Resetting your mindset isn't a one-time decision. It's daily work. Every morning you choose what story to tell yourself. You choose whether to carry excuses or to crush them. You choose whether to feed negativity or to starve it. And those choices compound. They either turn you into a victim who keeps circling the same problems or into a warrior who keeps rising no matter how many times life hits back. So today, make that reset. Stop feeding the lies. Stop defending your limitations. Excuses are easy, but they keep you average. Negativity is addictive, but it keeps you small. You weren't born to be average. You weren't born to stay small. You were built with the capacity to rise, to endure, to create, to dominate. And the only thing standing in your way is the story you keep repeating inside your head. Change that story, reset your mindset, remove the excuses, kill the negativity, step into the power. It's been waiting for you all along. Because the moment you do, the world has no choice but to move out of your way. Restart your ambition, reignite your passion and hunger. Somewhere along the way, you forgot why you started. You got lost in the noise, the routines, the disappointments, and the endless cycle of trying and failing. You let life drain the fire that once burned inside you. You once had dreams that kept you awake at night, ideas that made your heart race, visions of a better future that pulled you forward. But the world has a way of beating that out of you. People told you to be realistic, failures made you doubt yourself, and comfort seduced you into settling. That's how ambition dies, not in one big crash, but in small daily compromises. That's why you must restart it. Ambition isn't gone. It's buried under layers of excuses, fears, and wasted time. Restarting your ambition is about stripping all that away and remembering who you were before you gave in. Think back to that version of yourself who believed they could achieve something extraordinary. That younger self didn't care how impossible it looked, didn't care what people said, didn't care how many obstacles were in the way. That self was hungry, reckless with courage, and driven by pure passion. Restarting your ambition means going back to that state of raw hunger and letting it guide you again. Because without ambition, life becomes mechanical. You wake up, go through motions, chase meaningless distractions, and call it living. But it's not. It's surviving. And survival without growth is slow death. Passion is the fuel, hunger is the engine. Without them, you will stall. You cannot achieve greatness by doing only what feels comfortable, by working only when motivated, or by waiting for life to hand you the perfect conditions. You need to want it so bad that the thought of quitting makes you sick. You need to crave success more than comfort, more than sleep, more than temporary pleasures. Hunger separates the dreamers from the doers. Restarting your ambition means reminding yourself that nothing in this world is owed to you. You will only get what you are willing to chase relentlessly, no matter how tired you are, no matter how much resistance you face. The problem is, most people lose their hunger because they tasted comfort. They settle for good enough. They settle for stable jobs, average paychecks, dull routines, and call it responsibility. But deep down, their soul aches because they know they gave up on their true desires. They know they settled when they should have pushed harder. Restarting your ambition means rejecting that silent death. It means refusing to be ordinary when you know you were built to be extraordinary. Reigniting passion requires sacrifice. You cannot stay the same and expect your fire to return. You will need to cut out distractions, detach from people who dull your energy, and immerse yourself in the pursuit of what matters. Passion comes alive when you commit fully, when you stop holding back, when you throw yourself into your vision without a safety net. If you keep playing halfway, your fire will never burn bright. It's only when you risk everything for your purpose that you rediscover that unstoppable drive. Ask yourself, what did you once dream of that you buried? What did you once say you wanted but let life talk you out of? That dream is still inside you waiting. Restarting ambition means digging it up and daring to chase it again. You're not too old, it's not too late. The only thing in your way is hesitation. Passion doesn't fade with age, it fades with neglect. Hunger doesn't disappear, it weakens when you keep feeding it crumbs instead of feeding it goals. Read it again. Push yourself into challenges that scare you. Remind your body and mind what it feels like to want something so bad that nothing else matters. Ambition gives life meaning. Without it, you drift. With it, you wake up every day with clarity. When your ambition is alive, failure doesn't crush you, it sharpens you. Rejection doesn't weaken you, it fuels you. Obstacles don't stop you, they make victory sweeter. Restarting ambition means making that shift. It means saying, I refuse to live on autopilot. I refuse to settle. I refuse to let my potential rot unused. You will face resistance. People will call you obsessed, unrealistic, or even crazy. But understand this. The world is built by people who were once called crazy. The average person will never understand hunger because they've numbed themselves with comfort. That's why your ambition cannot rely on their approval. It must be self-sustained. It must come from within, from that burning voice that keeps saying, I was made for more. Restart your ambition. Reignite your passion. Stoke your hunger until it consumes you. That hunger is your greatest weapon because it makes you relentless. It makes you willing to do what others won't, to sacrifice what others can, to persist when others quit. And that's why, in the end, you will have what others only dream about. Your ambition is not dead. It's waiting for you to bring it back to life, to stop delaying, stop living numb, restart it now, and watch the world bend to the force of your hunger. Refocus your vision. Concentrate only on what matters. One of the greatest tragedies of modern life is how easy it is to lose sight of your purpose. Every day, your attention is being pulled in 1,000 directions. Notifications, opinions, trends, temptations, meaningless noise. You wake up with good intentions, but by the time the day ends, your energy has been drained by distractions that gave you nothing in return. And the more you allow that cycle, the further you drift from your true path. Refocusing your vision means snapping out of that fog and locking back in on what you were truly built to do. It's about cutting away the clutter, silencing the noise, and bringing all your energy back to the mission that actually matters. The truth is, most people fail not because they lack talent, but because they lack focus. They spread themselves thin, chasing every shiny object, saying yes to every invitation, allowing their minds to scatter in all directions. And scattered energy produces scattered results. You can't build an empire if you're giving pieces of yourself to everything except your purpose. You can't create greatness if you're distracted by trivial things that don't add to your future. Refocusing your vision requires brutal honesty. What in your life is truly essential and what is just background noise keeping you average. When you focus on everything, you accomplish nothing. But when you focus on the few things that matter, you become unstoppable. Think of a magnifying glass. On its own, it's just a piece of glass. But when you aim it at the sun and concentrate the rays into one small point, it becomes powerful enough to ignite fire. Your mind is the same. Without focus, your energy scatters and fades. With focus, your energy becomes fire, capable of burning through obstacles and igniting transformation. That's why refocusing is non-negotiable if you want to achieve anything significant. Concentrating only on what matters means you must become ruthless about priorities. Not everything deserves your time. Not everyone deserves your attention. You cannot afford to spend your days pleasing people who don't add value, entertaining distractions that don't move you forward, or engaging in battles that don't win you anything. Every yes to nonsense is a no to your destiny. Every wasted hour is an investment stolen from your future self. Refocusing means saying no more often, not because you're selfish, but because you're committed. Look at your daily life. How much of what you do actually brings you closer to your vision? How much is just noise disguised as productivity? Answering every message, scrolling endlessly, chasing validation, gossiping, procrastinating. All of it feels like motion, but it produces nothing. You are not here to move in circles. You are here to move forward. And forward only happens when you lock in on what actually counts, your growth, your goals, your mission. Refocusing your vision also means redefining what success looks like to you. Too many people live by other people's definitions, chasing dreams they don't even want just because society said so. That's why so many feel empty even when they achieve something, because it wasn't their vision, it was borrowed. Refocusing means cutting out the voices of the crowd and asking yourself, what do I truly want? What matters to me? What life would I be proud to build? Once you answer that honestly, you set your vision and everything else becomes irrelevant. Concentration is painful because it requires sacrifice. You'll have to walk away from comfort. You'll have to ignore distractions that look appealing. You'll have to say no to friends who don't share your mission. You may even feel lonely because true focus isolates you from the crowd. But that isolation is where transformation happens. Greatness demands separation. Lions don't move in packs with sheep. They walk their own path with unwavering vision. You must do the same. When you refocus, you become dangerous. Suddenly, your energy isn't wasted on trivial things. Your actions align with your goals. Your days become intentional, not accidental. People will notice your discipline, your clarity, your refusal to engage in nonsense. And while they waste time drifting, you'll be building. While they scatter their energy, you'll be sharpening yours. That's how you get ahead, not by doing more than everyone, but by doing only what matters most with absolute intensity. Refocusing isn't about balance, it's about alignment. Balance tells you to juggle everything. Alignment tells you to pursue only the things that push you toward your vision. That's why some people accomplish more in a year than others do in a lifetime. They're aligned. They're focused. They're not wasting energy on things that don't count. And that is exactly where you must place yourself. So stop letting your vision blur. Stop chasing every distraction, every temporary thrill, every meaningless obligation. Decide today what your mission is and cut out everything else. Lock in like your life depends on it, because it does. A life without vision is a wasted life. But a life with refocused vision is unstoppable. Concentrate only on what matters and watch how fast your world transforms. Because the moment your vision sharpens, your actions follow. And the world has no choice but to make room for the person who refuses to be distracted. Eliminate distractions. Discipline is the ultimate weapon. Nothing destroys potential faster than distraction. You can have the greatest dreams, the sharpest mind, the best ideas, but if you keep allowing your attention to scatter, you'll never make them real. Distractions are silent killers. They don't ruin you in one strike. They eat away at you slowly, moment by moment, until one day you wake up and realize years have passed and you're still in the same place. Every notification, every meaningless conversation, every hour wasted scrolling or chasing validation. These things feel small in the moment, but they compound into wasted months, wasted years, wasted lives. The truth is, most people don't fail because they weren't capable. They fail because they never mastered control over their own attention. Discipline is the weapon that separates winners from the rest. Discipline is doing what needs to be done even when you don't feel like it. Discipline is cutting off the distractions, silencing the noise, and forcing yourself to stay locked in on the mission. Motivation comes and goes, but discipline is permanent. If you build it, you become unstoppable because no matter how tired, how bored, how tempted you are, discipline will keep you moving forward. Without it, you will always be a prison of your impulses. Look at your life. How many times have you delayed your goals because you got distracted? How many hours did you throw away on nonsense when you should have been building? How often have you told yourself just 5 minutes only to realize you wasted the entire day? Those distractions are not harmless. They are the reason you're not where you want to be. They are the reason your vision is blurry, your ambition is fading, your results are average. Eliminating distractions isn't optional. It's survival. The modern world is built to break your focus. Companies spend billions designing apps, feeds, and content engineered to hijack your brain. Every beep, every alert, every new post is a hook pulling your attention away from what truly matters. If you don't build discipline strong enough to resist, you will be enslaved by the system. But if you develop the weapon of discipline, you flip the game. You stop being controlled and you start controlling. That's the difference between the person who gets trapped in endless scrolling and the one who builds an empire while everyone else wastes time. Eliminating distractions requires more than willpower. It requires strategy. You must create an environment where focus thrives. Cut out the unnecessary noise. Put your phone on silent. Stop surrounding yourself with people who drain your energy with gossip and negativity. Simplify your world so your brain can zero in on what matters. The fewer distractions you allow, the sharper your focus becomes. The sharper your focus, the faster your progress. The faster your progress, the stronger your discipline grows. It's a cycle, and once you control it, nothing can stop you. Discipline also demands sacrifice. You cannot cling to comfort and expect to be great. You cannot indulge in every pleasure and expect to stay focused. Every distraction you allow is a choice to waste or a choice to build. Discipline means choosing the hard road now so you can enjoy freedom later. It means staying in when others go out, studying when others procrastinate. People may laugh at you, call you obsessed, say you're missing out, but in the end, they'll be watching you win while they're stuck exactly where they've always been. Understand this. Greatness is not a product of talent alone. It's not luck, not magic, not some hidden gift. Greatness is the result of relentless focus maintained by discipline. The athlete who dominates, the entrepreneur who builds, the creator who inspires, all of them mastered one thing: the ability to cut out distractions and stay locked in. Their discipline is their weapon. And just like a weapon, discipline must be trained, sharpened, and wielded daily. At first, it will feel brutal. Your mind will resist. You will crave the distractions you're trying to eliminate because they've become your comfort. But every time you say no, every time you choose focus over noise, you forge strength. Slowly, your discipline hardens like steel. You become someone who doesn't negotiate with weakness. And when discipline becomes your nature, distractions lose their power. That's when life changes. Because a disciplined mind cannot be stopped. When you eliminate distractions, you suddenly have time others can't find. You have energy others waste. You have clarity others never achieve. Discipline turns ordinary people into warriors because while everyone else is chasing pleasures, you're chasing progress. And progress, step by step, becomes greatness. So ask yourself, what distractions are stealing your future? What habits are robbing you of your vision? What impulses are chaining you to mediocrity? Be honest and then cut them out. No hesitation, no compromise. Discipline is not about being perfect. It's about refusing to give in. And if you master that, you master life. Eliminate distractions, build discipline. Use it as your ultimate weapon. Because when you do, nothing external can hold you back. The world bends to those who are too disciplined to break, too focused to fall, too relentless to quit. And that can be you. If you choose discipline over distraction every single day. Attack life relentlessly. No pause, no fear, only progress. Life will never hand you anything you want just because you wish for it. The world doesn't reward hesitation, it doesn't care about your doubts, and it has no sympathy for your fears. The only language life understands is action, relentless, fearless, consistent action. Too many people wait. They wait for the perfect time, the right mood, the stars to align. They wait until they feel ready. But waiting kills dreams. The clock is ticking, the days are slipping away, and while you hesitate, someone else is moving, building, and seizing the opportunities you keep staring at. That's why you must attack life without pause. Every second matters. Every decision either pushes you closer to your vision or drags you further away. Fear will always whisper in your ear. Fear of failure, fear of rejection, fear of embarrassment. But fear is nothing more than a liar. It tries to convince you to stay still, to play small, to hide. If you let fear rule, you'll never know your true power. Attacking life relentlessly means acknowledging fear but refusing to obey it. You feel it, but you move anyway. You push forward even when your hands shake, even when your mind screams doubt. Courage isn't the absence of fear. It's the decision to keep moving despite it. Progress is the only metric that matters. Not perfection, not applause, not approval. Progress. Did you move forward today? Did you take one more step toward your vision? Did you push yourself harder than yesterday? That's what relentless living looks like. Constant motion, no stagnation. Some days the progress will be massive. Other days it will be small, but it must always be there, because once you stop moving, once you pause too long, the momentum dies. And when momentum dies, restarting feels 10 times harder. You have to approach life like a battlefield. Every morning you wake up, you either advance or retreat. Neutral doesn't exist. Attack life as if you are in a war for your future, because you are. Your dreams, your potential, your destiny, they are all on the line. And if you don't fight for them, you lose them. Attack life with intensity. Attack with persistence. Attack with the mindset that nothing and no one will outwork you. Because while talent, luck, and connections can help, nothing beats relentless consistency. The person who refuses to quit will always outlast the one who hesitates. Too many people are soft with their goals. They want success, but only if it's convenient. They want growth, but only if it doesn't hurt. They want progress, but only if it doesn't require sacrifice. That's why they never rise. You cannot treat life casually and expect greatness. You must go all in. You must attack it as if your very survival depends on it. That kind of urgency separates winners from the weak. Attacking life relentlessly doesn't mean you never rest. It means you never quit. Rest when necessary, but never confuse resting with pausing your mission. Pausing leads to comfort, and comfort leads to decline. When you're relentless, even your rest is strategic. It's recharging to strike harder, not escaping to avoid work. The mindset is simple. No matter what happens, forward is the only direction. You'll face setbacks, you'll take losses, you'll hit walls, but relentless people don't stop when it gets tough. They push harder. They understand that every obstacle is part of the process, every failure is feedback, every delay is a test. While most people quit when the path gets hard, the relentless see it as a chance to prove their strength. Attack life with that mentality and nothing can break you. The truth is, the world belongs to those who move first, who move fast, who move without waiting for perfect conditions. Relentless action builds momentum, and momentum builds results. One step turns into two, two into 10, 10 into unstoppable force. That's why you can't pause. You have to keep moving, keep building, keep fighting. Even small actions compound into massive success if you refuse to stop. Fear will always try to paralyze you. Progress will always demand sacrifice. But if you attack life with everything you've got, if you refuse to pause, if you refuse to let fear chain you, then nothing can hold you back. You become a force of nature, relentless, unshakable, untouchable, and that is how you turn vision into reality. So don't hesitate. Don't wait for permission. Don't stand still while life passes by. Attack every day like it owes you something. Attack with discipline, with hunger, with fire in your soul. Attack until your goals are no longer distant dreams, but tangible reality. Because the truth is simple. Life doesn't reward the cautious. It rewards the relentless. No pause, no fear, only progress. Make that your mantra. Live it every single day, and you will dominate. And now you understand. Reset, restart, refocus, eliminate, and attack. That is the cycle of transformation. That is how you break free from mediocrity and step into the life you were meant to live. Every excuse you've ever told yourself, every distraction you've ever allowed, every pause you've taken out of fear, they've all stolen pieces of your future. But that ends today. This moment is your reset. This moment is your restart. This moment is where you refocus on what actually matters. This is where you eliminate everything pulling you away from your destiny and attack life with the ferocity it demands. You do not get another chance at today. You do not get another version of this life. There is no replay button, no miracle shortcut, no savior coming to hand you success. There is only you, your will, your hunger, your discipline, and your relentless action. The choice is yours. Stay where you are, chained by fear and distraction, or rise with power, clarity, and unstoppable drive. Decide now, move now, attack now, because the future doesn't wait, and neither should you.